Palestine. And the reason for that is, in the Western Cape and all over South Africa, we have many, many tournaments. We have a big tournament like the Vale tournament under 18, but this one is very unique. The reason for that is that this tournament are linked directly to the youth your age in Palestine. The outcome of this tournament, and there's going to be a lot of work around that, is to make 100% sure that either, Mr. Asuna, we bring a team from Palestine to play in the next tournament, or we will take a team from here to go to Palestine. We need to do that. And that's the reason why today the players, the youth that are here are very important. It is so important for you guys so that you will have a proper understanding of the youth in Palestine. Even though you see a lot of things going around and you hear about Palestine, through this tournament, we want to engrave the real truth and what's happening out there, and how do we link you guys with those guys over there, and that you have direct link with you through your social media. Do you know that the under 18 team that was here 3 years ago are still connected to some of the under 18 players and families in Cape Town? And that's what we want to see, the outcome of this tournament. I also want to bring this to your attention, that we understand that we in the period where we are, the COVID period, and that. But if we all work together, and adhere to all the protocols around COVID, we will still make a success of this tournament, which will happen on the 4th and the 5th. And I would like to say a few things about the foundation. This foundation started 23 years ago, the 7A-SIDE Foundation. And it started off by feeding a few kids from a village called the Browns Farm village opposite Sherwood Park. And since then, as it grew, more and more pockets fell under the foundation. For instance, we have an IFTA program, we have a football academy, we have a coaches academy. We're now linking with overseas teams. Before we used to link with the UK, we are now directly linked with Palestine, and we hope that that will carry on until the day Palestine is free. I also need to extend this to all of you, especially the seniors that are here. Many a times, we have marches out there for Palestine. We have gatherings for Palestine. It is now time that we use football and sports to make sure that we showcase whatever we do in sports to the world out there, to say to the world, to say to Israel, to say to the Zionists, that every child in Palestine has the right to play. And you people that are here today, and all of you youth, going to say that by playing out there. No more do we want to see photos and images of kids of Palestine only with tears and blood. We want to see images now where they are playing and being a normal child like each and every one of you here. Therefore, Mr. Asuna, I'm now standing up here as the leader of 7A-SIDE Foundation and give you our guarantee that this will become an annual tournament until we're going to go over to Palestine with the team standard. To all the players that are here, welcome. Make this tournament big. Come in numbers to the event. And everyone that is here, please pray, keep on praying for the freedom of Palestine. May God bless you all. and enjoy this tournament. Shukran.
And we say shukran to the founder member of 7A-SIDE, Abu Bakr Kassim. Also, as a few latecomers came in, allow me again to say welcome. We say welcome to all the members of the local councillors, provincial councillors, and the National Assembly who are participating in this beautiful event. Welcome once again. And our next speaker, we call upon a young man. I will call him on as the Consul General of the Palestinian Embassy. And that's in South Africa. I repeat, the Consul General of the Palestinian Embassy in South Africa, and also a pioneer in this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Hassauna Al-Dramli.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dearest brother Ibrahim Ibrahim, my beloved brother, إني أحبك بالله. Comrade Khalid Saeed, Mubakir Qasim, Coach Nuri, observer. It's an honor for me and privilege to be here among my brothers and sisters and the young generation of South Africa, the young soccer generation of South Africa, who are going to revive the cause of Palestine wherever they are. On behalf of my people of Palestine, on behalf of my government, on behalf of my ambassador, on behalf of my colleague against Palestine, we'd like to salute you and express our appreciation and gratitude for unwavering support for the cause of Palestine. Why I am supporting the sports? Why I'm organizing that kind of events? Personally, when I was in the age of 10 years old, I was playing soccer in the street with no shoes, like any children. At that time, a group of Israeli soldiers, they came and started to beat us for nothing, just because we were playing soccer. And also another reason, because I'm passionate about sport. Personally, I have 5 Dan karate. I represent Palestine on different international occasions. And also, I represented South Africa in one of the African karate tournaments, and I won the gold medal for South Africa. In 2017, we launched this initiative with a few groups in Johannesburg. We started with a free Palestine boxing tournament from Soweto, then in Mpumalanga. Then we tried to go to Eastern Cape, but we couldn't succeed. Every year, we have more than 20 boxing clubs who are participating in our tournament, free Palestine boxing tournament. The result of this tournament was we raised 3 South African world champions. They participated internationally and they won for South Africa gold medals. And that is the purpose of our tournament, the real purpose behind this kind of events. We need to develop the youth of South Africa. We as a Palestinian, we witnessed your support. We witnessed your solidarity. And as an activist, before I become a diplomat, I have to reciprocate with full duty and honor to South African people to support and stand in solidarity with the society in organizing events can benefit the society of South Africa, especially the young generation. I can see here there is a new Muhammad Salah with a curly hair. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. You see, and I can see here Messi. I can see Ronaldo. I can see a good soccer player. That's what we need. We need the best for the children. The second element of behind organizing this event to create awareness about the cause. Awareness about the just cause of Palestine. Our children in Palestine, they have no chance to play any kind of soccer freely, whether in West Bank or Gaza or Jerusalem, and even the Palestinian people who are living in diaspora. You are really have a good opportunity to live in a free country, to practice your democracy, to live freely, play soccer freely, go in wherever you want, like, not like our children. If they want go from place to place, they must be cross the checkpoints. But despite all of that, this year we have medals in Olympic and athlete. We are fighting to stand in different fields, whether it's sports, arts, culture, politics, in all fields. We will continue our struggle. The struggle, by all means, whether non-violent struggle, violent struggle, sports struggle, cultural struggle, by all means, we are telling the world that we are here. We are fighting for our dignity. We are fighting for our freedom. During my meetings with the different departments, DERCO, Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, even the United Nations, I spoke about the future of this tournament. What can we do for the children? I suggested that tournament, it must be an annual tournament. The result of this tournament, the champion of the tournaments, they must go to Palestine to play soccer with the Palestinian, against the Palestinian teams. Because I need those children to go to Palestine, to look at the Palestinian, to interact with the Palestinian children, to witness what is happening in Palestine. I want to create more awareness about the cause for those children. Because those children are the soldier, are the messenger for our cause. When they come back, they will speak about what they have seen there. During my meetings, Department of Sport and Recreation recommended a different organization to organize this tournament. But I insisted that Triple S should take this duty. Why? Because they committed themselves to Palestine. I discussed this matter with Coach Ubid, Abu Bakr Qasim. He supported the initiative because we believe that with the sport, all of us will be around the cause of Palestine with no differentiation, no politics, only sports. With the sports, we can do much better for Palestine. With the sport, we can revive the cause. With the sport, we can organize international campaign for Palestine. With the sport, we can unite ourselves again because all of us working for one thing, the liberation of Palestine, the liberation of Palestine, the liberation of Palestine. In the conclusion, I would like to thank our partners, Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, United Nations, Triple S, led by my dearest friend Abu Bakr Qasim, Coach Kubi, and all other partners. Thank you very much. And I wish everyone a successful, and I wish everyone to have a good gold medal and trophy. Thank you very much.
MashaAllah, beautifully said there by India this evening, the Sauna all-rounded. And next on, all ears to the phones here. We have a very important gentleman here with us. Very honored to have him always with us. Never miss a tournament. He will go out of his way. And let me just, for the youngsters out there, this man has been like a freedom fighter for fairness and the upliftment of our sport in overall, not only for males but for females as well in all the sport. Played a major role in the DCAT, in the government. I can say a lot about this gentleman, but for now, let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, your hand and my hand, let's welcome on stage the SAFA President of Western Cape, Mr. Bennett Bailey.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Let's try that again. Good evening, Assalamu alaikum. You know, in church, when you say hello, you say good day, and you respond, and we know you're ready to receive the word. So I also hope that you're happy. Let me acknowledge all the dignitaries. Say, Gabriels, thank you and for also attending once again. The last time when I spoke, you remember I spoke about humanity, and my speech tonight is a continuation of that speech. So I acknowledge your presence also. I want to also acknowledge his absence. I didn't see Mandla here, not yet. Mandla, and then Asona Adremain from the Palestinian Embassy, and thank you for the encouraging words and also putting it out there. And we would love to welcome a team from South Africa in Palestine to also experience that. And that will also break down those barriers which exist in society and also show to the Palestinian people that the world is not in their enclave only, but it's outside and the world embraces them. So it's certainly something that we need to look forward to. You cannot speak about Bobby without speaking about Nadim. It's like a package deal. You must mention the two. The one attacks you, the other one will just kiss you. You know, let's use water and only. But they go together. And then to the organizing committee, everybody that's assisting, let me acknowledge you. And I need to apologize up front to the kids. I didn't know. I had to close so busy. I really didn't know. So when I prepared myself, I just arrived last night from the DRC on international duty, 5 to 12 last night, and been in back-to-back meetings. I serve on the SASCOM Judiciary Committee and on the Constitution Committee, back-to-back meetings because we've got extreme deadlines. So when the speech was prepared, I didn't have you in mind, but I'll try to also inculcate you in my speech. So let me apologize up front. Once again, good evening. It's an honor to be attending and speaking at this prestigious event. I reflect on the theme of tonight, and I've asked that the theme be given through so that I be also prepared. The theme for tonight is freedom through football, and it weighed heavily on me as to what does that statement mean. and how I'm going to contribute also, that you have something to take with you as you leave. Firstly, what is freedom? In a context with tonight being about the freedom of Palestine, I want to start off with a quote by an indigenous tribe that was recorded in the 1500s or 1600s to show how history repeats itself and to highlight the continuous violation of human rights. And the quotation goes as follows: why should you take by force that which you can have by love? Why must you take it by force? Just as when you show love, you can have it also. Why should you destroy us? Who have provided you with food? Why should you do that? What can you get by war? What is happening currently in Palestine? We can hide our provisions and fly into the woods, and then you must consequently furnish by wrong going to your friends. What is the cause of your jealousy? You see us unarmed and willing to supply your wants. If you will come in a friendly manner and not by swords and by gun, as to invade an enemy. And this was done by some indigenous tribe in America, was said by an indigenous tribe in America, the Powhatan in 1547. Now, when you look at the situation in Palestine, it's exactly that. There's no conversation. It's war, and what's happening in Palestine, it's got nothing to do. It's genocide. And it's something that the world must be outraged with. In South Africa, we've been very fortunate to have been part of football movement, and I've been part of the football movement my entire life. I grew up in the apartheid era of when we had our people dying for freedom, our human rights violated in the most inhumane way, and no assurance of whether we'll make it until the next day. How many times did you wonder if you would see Christmas, if you would see Lebaran, if you would just see the next day? And therefore, when we coined those slogans, freedom or death, but victory certain, we were serious about that. We were very serious that we will have freedom in our lifetime. Alhoewel ek en Bobbie makahaloop het, hy het ook 'n Bobbie 'n sprinter gewees. Fighting for survival was the only option, and many of us resorted to sport. And football, for many, became a vehicle to create a path towards freedom. You might ask yourself, how? As football is a sport, where is the connection to freedom? I can provide many examples of other sectors became infused with football. Example, politics became infused in football, where you would see us went into unity talks, and there was obviously a difference into if we should be involved with unity talks, and what guided us was the ideologies where we come from. I can provide with religion. We found that time was the young movement call, some of you might remember, some of you might have been, I was a young student that time, the call of Islam stepped to the fore, and they engaged in party regime. We had also the various South African Council of Churches, but as a collective, they stepped to the fore and engaged. But sport was the official vehicle which at times used. We made use of our history also. We started telling the story of Imam Harun, our greatest of yesteryear. And that also gave us comfort that we are not the first and we will not be the last, which ultimately relates to our people within society. The one thing all of this have in common is humanity. And that's the freedom that we need. It's the freedom of humanity. Tonight is an important night. And by doing this, we will also raise funds, although it's just a draw. But I know the way that Damien Bobbie works. Nothing is for free. For the football team from Palestine to participate again in South Africa and to reciprocate also that we do it the other way. It's no secret that South Africa as a society has been an avid and vocal supporter of the freedom of Palestine. We as SAFA, we stand in solidarity with it. SAFA has always been one of the forerunners in breaking racial barriers and will continuously stand against all forms of oppression. We are also, I need to tell you also, ladies and gentlemen, when last year we campaigned in this country and the world about Black Lives Matter, a lot of people said all lives matter. So when we said, no, we know all lives matter. But for now, we need to highlight the plight of Black people. And some of us, the only small generation in this country that came out publicly to support the Black Lives Matter. And therefore, my staff, my boss is like that. And we support this, and we do that unashamedly because we owe our people a lot. SAFA has always been the forerunner. On this note, we must remember that the struggle for freedom of the people of Palestine is not the responsibility of one sector. However, it's the responsibility of all sectors, and that's the only way that we can to achieve our victory. As with apartheid, the responsibility did not rest with one political, religious, or sport movement. We came together as a people. You remember the song that Busak coined, die hondjies, die katsies, die mense, almal tesame in die struggle. That is how we defeated apartheid. So we need to come together once again as humanity and engage and defeat also the oppressive regimes that keeps the people of Palestine enslaved. We must do this in the same way. The freedom for Palestine does not rest on the religious sector or certain countries. It's the responsibility of humanity as we are witnessing a genocide in Palestine. In our football movement, we are a diverse group of people. We come from different races, we come from different religions and backgrounds. The freedom of Palestine is our freedom. Let me conclude. In 1992, and I didn't want to quote Mandela because I know you all want to quote Mandela. In 1992, in the 6th round of the Middle East Peace Talks convened in Washington by the United Nations, hosted its 9th annual International Non-Governmental Organizations Symposium on the question of Palestine at the Geneva headquarters. The opening session saw a large conference room filled to capacity and beyond capacity and was fully booked, with NGOs, representatives of international agencies, in the government organizations, envoys of 20 different governments, and the press. And they all climbed into that room. And you know why they were there? Because the chairperson of the ANC, Oliver Tambo, would be there. And the chair of the PLO would be there, Comrade Yasser Arafat, the national chairman. And because of that, that would have been the first time after Oliver Tambo came home that they've operated in exile before, that they would come together and address a joint conference. And this is what Oliver Tambo had to say at that conference. Oliver Tambo called for a world in which no people will ever feel the need to struggle as we have been called upon to struggle. He said, no, it's not necessary. We need to give love so that we can receive love. There's no need for us to struggle. This must be a world in which the affirmation of a collective humanity is based on the recognition of our individual humanities. It's a collective. It's not yours alone. It's a collective. It must be a world in which every individual, regardless of race, color, or creed, or gender, has the right to belong to the free pursuit of happiness and the self-fulfillment, and to the security of life and limb. Tambo counsel that anything that is injurious to any section of humanity is harmful to a humanity, and that any order that is not freely or collectively worked out and voluntarily accepted by all cannot be have a lasting effect. Only in that way, Tambo said, can mankind create, and I quote, the free empire of all humanity, in which the highest interest will be to promote the fullest development of all human beings, individually and collectively, close quotes. Today, SAFA, as we support this initiative, we bear in mind that it's not the human spirit that binds us, with people across the world in supporting this team from Palestine. We send a message to them that we are here for you. We care about you, and we will join you in your fight for freedom, as your freedom and our freedom can never be separated. So,
Yes, and we say thank you to our very own SAFA Western Cape President for the powerful and inspiring words, Mr. Bennett Bailey. So thank you. Then next, our next speaker, we call upon our next Palestinian, and this is a young gentleman who studied here in South Africa, studied international relations, and they are doing legal campaigns. Ladies and gentlemen, I can say a lot about this gentleman, Director of Friends of Al Mizan. Let's welcome on stage. Let's welcome on stage Abdullah Rafan.
All right, Assalamu alaikum everyone. First of all, thank you everyone for coming here today and for inviting me to speak, and thank you to the organizers and to every group that made this tournament and this event possible. As the president said, that I represent a Palestinian legal organization that's fighting in Palestine for the rights of people, young people like themselves, to play soccer, to live their lives normal like you living, and like everybody that we want them to live. Our organization is representing young people who are struggling to cross borders, to cross checkpoints from one point to another. There are young children like yourselves today struggling to go from one town to another, from one village to another, just to play soccer. Unfortunately, there are many cases even where the Israelis, they even shoot the kids because they don't want them to play. We try our best to give them the freedom to work, to play like yourselves. But today I'm not going to speak about the miseries of the Palestinians. I want to speak actually about the happiness that we want to bring to the Palestinians. I want to connect. I want the South African youth, I want the South African community to connect with the Palestinian community. And I'm really happy that Coach Booby mentioned that they would like to take a team from South Africa to Palestine to play with the Palestinians. I would also be more happy to have Palestinians who would come out and see what is possible. I wanted to come out of Palestine to see that it is possible to defeat apartheid, it is possible to defeat the colonial regime of Israel. And I wanted to dream, I wanted to have this vision that one day we will achieve what South Africans have achieved. Because it is possible. You are a perfect example of that. You are a perfect example of struggling for freedom and achieving freedom, like something that we always aspire. It is really important for me to highlight that 2/3 of the Palestinian population is actually young people. And we want to revive the dreams that they have, that they should have, actually, about living normal lives. They shouldn't struggle only about having a house or having electricity or water. They should struggle to win and to become heroes, to fight for the future. And I want the young people to lead the struggle to liberation. I want us Palestinians, like Mohammed al-Kurd, who yesterday said from the stage of at the United Nations in New York, he's only 23 years old, young boy, but he was there and as a young man representing an entire nation, because he has a strong voice, he's speaking the truth. And I want the Palestinians, all the Palestinians, to be heroes, to represent Palestine on all different levels, especially the sports avenues, because sport has this unique connection with all different countries, with all different nations, and all genders. We want to connect our hearts before we connect our struggles. We want, as young people, and I want every player here to understand that you do have a role to play, that you can influence the international community. If you look at Mohammed Salah, for example, he was just like you playing in the streets one day, and today look at him where he is. And we want also Palestinians to have this dream. And I wanted to know that it is possible to reach that. I want you to become leaders, each one of you. You are a leader. I want you to lead your own community. I want you to lead the Palestinian struggle within South Africa. I want you to, in the future, you yourselves and your coaches, your families, to advance the boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign, because we want to kick Israel out of the FIFA. Like you did in South Africa, you kicked apartheid was kicked out of all the international tournaments. And we want Israel to be that. So I shouldn't take too long, but I want you to take this message. That today you are playing a small tournament right here in Cape Town, but tomorrow you are going to represent South Africa, and I want you to have Palestine in your houses. Thank you very much.
Beautifully said there by the director of Al Mizan, Friends of Al Mizan, Abdullah Rifat. Young men, and I'm talking about the young men, and if there are any females, my apologies, who will be participating in this beautiful festival. Let me remind you, this is history. Not history, you are making history because you are sitting among very important members here, dignitaries, very important people. This festival will go a long way. I am so proud that you can be here. We are so proud. You were the chosen ones to be here. And with that note, we will take a short break for 10 to 15 minutes for the waqt of Maghrib, and we will start immediately after that. Shukran. Salah facilities are available on the first floor level. Shukran.
Reliable access to clean water. Double 1000573. Penny appeal. Small change. Big difference.
What makes Randery Jewelers the optimum place for your memorable gift? Is it our range of exclusive, high-end, luxurious jewellery? Or is it our master craftsmanship of all your bespoke jewellery needs? We believe it's because at Randery Jewellers, we know just how to make your special moments last forever. Whether it's for a wedding, anniversary, or just a simple gift to show your love, trust Randery Jewellers to make it special. www.randeryjewellers.com. Make your moments last forever with Randery Jewellers, the family name you can trust.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Babu, why don't you loosen your belt a bit more?
But why now?
Well, it's very tight, blocking air to your brain.
Haju, this is only a start. I need to tighten up a bit more. Funds are tight and the cost of living is high.
Funds are not tight. It's your haram insurance which is tightening our barakat.
Okay, Haju. I will call my insurance friend tomorrow.
Maybe I must tighten up on my cooking from now on too.
No, Haju, we don't need to tighten up. It's okay. Look, I'm even throwing away my belt.
Don't tighten your belt. Change your insurance. Leaving Riba Insurance is easier than you think. Call Amana IFS for all your personal and commercial takaful needs. 0861 786 393. Amana. Leave Riba for good. Amana IFS is a registered financial services provider.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and free zakat calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Your act of love gives hope. Islamic Relief supports orphans and vulnerable children in 28 countries with food, education, and medical care. There are more than 150 million orphans in the world. You can give hope to one. Sponsor an orphan today. Go to www.islamic-relief.org.za.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Every day we tell each other that this day will be the last, and tomorrow we all can go home free, and all this will finally end. Palestine, tomorrow will be free. Palestine, tomorrow will be free. mother, no father to wipe away my tears. That's why I will cry. I feel scared, but I won't show my fears. I keep my head high, deep in my heart. I never have any doubt that Palestine tomorrow will be free. Palestine tomorrow will be free. I saw those rockets and bombs shining in the sky, like drops of rain in the sun's light, taking away everyone dear to my heart, destroying my dreams in a blink of an eye. What happened to our human rights? What happened to the sanctity of life and all those other lives? I know that I'm only a child, but is your conscience still alive? Oh, yeah. I will caress with my bare hands every precious grain of sand, every stone and every tree. 'Cause no matter what they do, they can never hurt you. 'Cause your soul will always be free.
سؤالي للعالم، لكل إنسان في العالم، لكل إنسان بينعم بحريته. ليش إحنا بنتحاصر؟ يعني شو عملنا؟ شو ذنب شعب كامل يتحاصر داخل حدود ضيقة لأسباب هو مش عارفها؟ يعني تهيألي إحنا ما عملنا إشي نتحاصر عليه أو نحبس عليه.
Palestine tomorrow will be free. Palestine tomorrow will be free.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is your brother Maher Zain. For my latest news and updates, join
Every day we tell each other that this day will be the last, and tomorrow we all can go home free, and all this will finally end. Palestine tomorrow will be free. Palestine tomorrow will be free. No mother, no father to wipe away my tears. That's why I will cry. I feel scared, but I won't show my fears. I keep my head high, deep in my heart. I never have any doubt that Palestine tomorrow will be free. Palestine tomorrow will be free. I saw those rockets and bombs shining in the sky, like drops of rain in the sun's light, taking away everyone dear to my heart, destroying my dreams in a blink of an eye. What happened to our human rights? What happened to the sanctity of life and all those other lives? I know that I'm only a child, but is your conscience still alive? Oh, yeah. I will caress with my bare hands every precious grain of sand, every stone and every tree. 'Cause no matter what they do, they can never hurt you, 'cause your soul will always be free.
سؤالي للعالم، لكل إنسان في العالم، لكل إنسان بينعم بحريته. ليش إحنا بنتحاصر؟ يعني شو عملنا؟ شو ذنب شعب كامل يتحاصر داخل حدود ضيقة لأسباب هو مش عارفها؟ يعني تهيألي إحنا ما عملنا إشي نتحاصر عليه أو ننحبس عليه.
Palestine tomorrow will be free. Palestine tomorrow will be free.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لي وحدي أو كيف السبيل.
Humanity sets the agenda.
As the crisis in Palestine continues, the Africa Muslims Agency teams are on the ground facilitating emergency food and medical assistance to the affected families. Donate 15,000 rand or any amount and help the people of Palestine. Call AMA now on 083-251-9376 or donate online at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, inspiring the spirit of giving.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Thank you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. May I ask everybody to settle down as we'd like to proceed with the itinerary. Aha! As I was saying, may we proceed. And I have to say, David. One minute. Ten seconds. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for your participation here tonight. Allow me to call upon the most famous amongst the youth, again to the stage, Mr. Abu Bakr Qasim.
Thank you, Mr. MC. I'm just going to do two things here. We have just confirmed with the embassy now that, and this is especially for the coaches and the players and the officials, that we will select a team from this tournament that will be playing against the team from Joburg where they have the same tournament. And then, after that, also, we have just confirmed that outcome of that two teams that will be playing, that the team from South Africa, which is this screen that you see here, will then go to Palestine. So, to Iqbal and Ibrahim and Buta, who have the task on their hand to select the best team, as well as the best coach and the manager that will be traveling to Joburg to play out there to select the team for South Africa to represent us in Palestine. Now, we'll make sure it's a very strong team. When we're in Palestine, Mr. Asuna, we'll make sure that we lose 2-1 so that we are safe. And when the people come here, we will review paper. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker, Mr. Mandla Mandela, has just sent in his apologies. He won't be able to be with us for a very good reason. It's his 200th birthday, and his mother and father came from the village down, and he apologizes that he cannot be with us, but he gives his blessings, and he's going to try and come to the tournament and also support everything that we have agreed on, said here. By saying that, I would also like to acknowledge from that same entity, people that are in the same fold as Mr. Mandla Mandela, that are also here tonight to support us. I would like to acknowledge Mr. Khalid Sayed, and he is the Shadow Minister for Education. Mr. Sayed, can you just raise your hand? It's a warm welcome. I would also like to acknowledge the Councillor Samir Sali of Al Jama, also supporting the initiative, as well as Aisha Kasim. It's not my family, but Aisha Kasim. And then also Mariam Manuel. And these are the councillors that stood up in Parliament and speak directly in support of Palestine and the tournament as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice round of applause. Now, just to show you how serious Mandla Mandela is in support for us and the tournament, what he did was he sent a video clip directly to us here about his speech tonight and what he would like to say, and also to support this initiative. Are we ready?
Program organizers, participating teams, ladies and gentlemen, my respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I bring you greetings of peace and thank the organizers for inviting me to participate in this program. Today, we are able to participate in programs such as this because freedom-loving people all over the world who kept our struggle alive by embarking on actions that kept our struggle foremost in the minds of the world and in the global forums, such as the United Nations, the Non-Aligned Movement, the Organization of African Unity, OAU, and other regional structures. We remain indebted to all of them, and the only way we can ever repay that debt is to ensure that we and the world do not become indifferent and oblivious of the suffering of others. The founding father of our nascent democracy, His Excellency President Nelson Khalifa Mandela, reminded that as long as there is a single human being suffering anywhere in the world, our struggle is far from over. He also reminded us that the greatest moral issue of our time is the Palestinian struggle. This is because 7 decades have passed since the Nakba, the greatest catastrophe that saw the creation of the apartheid state of Israel. The calamitous events saw millions of Palestinians uprooted from the land of their forefathers, and the destruction of more than 400 villages. The crimes of genocide and the countless massacres that continue to this day remains unpunished, and the perpetrators have not been brought to book. This is a travesty of mammoth proportion and a contravention of natural justice by any standard. Yesterday, the anniversary of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. In 1977, the General Assembly called for the annual observance of the 29th of November as the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people on Resolution 3240. On that day in 1947, the Assembly adopted the resolution on the partitioning of Palestinian Resolution 181, subsection 2. In Resolution 6037 of 1 December 2005, the Assembly requested the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People and the Division for Palestinian Rights as part of the observance of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people on the 29th of November to continue to organize an annual exhibition on Palestinian rights or a cultural event in cooperation with the Permanent Observer Mission of Palestine to the United Nations. The resolution on the observance of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people also encourages member states to continue to give the widest support and publicity to the observance of the Day of Solidarity. This event therefore plays an important role in creating memory and for reminding us and the entire world that regardless of the challenges, obstacles, and onslaught on the Palestinian people, we will never forget, nor will we relent in our efforts to mobilize all sectors of society of the reality that Palestinians live through every day. We must and we will continue to call for justice for the Palestinian people. We call for an end to the unjust occupation, the right of return of all Palestinian refugees, the release of all political prisoners, and an immediate end to the expansion of illegal settlements on Palestinian lands in violation of international law. We owe it to ourselves and the Palestinian people to continue mobilizing through events such as this so that we can build awareness and consciousness. Through doing so, we build a strong network of international solidarity as an important pillar of the struggle for the Palestinian people. On this day of international solidarity with the Palestinian people, we reiterate our call to isolate apartheid Israel in the global community through boycott, divestment, and sanctions. Already, workers, students, academics, labor movements, and other social formations have responded to our call. The internal struggle is being waged every day by our Palestinian brothers and sisters at a huge price of life and limb. Yet they remain undeterred, and so must we remain resolute in our efforts. In conclusion, I salute all who are participating and contributing to the success of this event in particular. Your efforts will one day be celebrated in a free Palestine. Long live the struggle for a free Palestine. Long live. Thank you.
We say thank you. Again, I stress out to the coaches who are sitting with your young players there. I stress out that we have very important people here, and what encouraging and wise words by our Member of Parliament, Honorable Chief Mandla Mandela. Thank you. One more time. May we have a round of applause for Mr. Thank you. And then we continue on a more lighter note tonight. We have a young man here. He's been singing for 22 years already, and allow us to share the stage with him tonight. He actually wrote a song in defining the plight of Palestine, and also his action demonstrates the struggle in Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, let's call upon Zahir Samsudin. Everybody, put your hands together.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you all good? It's so nice to see you on the stage. It's amazing. Here we go. It's okay. We tried to escape before we knew it was too late. I was alone. My parents were gone. This is how you left me. Now you think you won, but you will never win, 'cause the world is on our side. All the pressure strong, we don't need to hide. We will prevail. God will help us through the bloodshed and tears. We have nothing to fear. And if you break us down, we will rise back up. We will throw our soul for Palestine, Palestine, Father, put a shackle, dodging and running, smoke grenade, hiding in corners, our lives too pointless, being treated like animals, for our beloved land. Unnecessary burials, but you will never win, 'cause the world is on our side. All the pressure strong, we don't need to hide. We will prevail. God will help us through the bloodshed and tears. We have nothing to fear. And if you break us down, we will rise up. We will blow our stones for Palestine. I will stand my ground. I will be the shield. My skin is my armor. My heart is my armor. Hold me. Will you find what you desire? But I'm not the only one with a heart of fire. They will prevail. God will help us through the bloodshed sea. We have nothing to fear, but if you break us down, we will rise back for Palestine. Our home, we will prevail. God will help us through the bloodshed tears. We have nothing to fear, and if you break us down, we will rise back up. We will throw our stones for Palestine, Palestine, our home.
MashaAllah. This man needs a big round of applause. What a powerful voice he has. Beautiful. Beautiful. Shukran Zahir. And then we continue with the talent we have amongst us here. Tonight we have another young man here all the way from Lavendale. And he has been inspired by people like Kamal Salim and Buna Muhammad to do poetry. Now I need everybody to listen tonight to this young man. Listen to the word and take it with you. Spread the word. Ladies and gentlemen, your hands and my hands. Let's welcome to the stage Abdul Rahman Abdul.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Respected brothers and sisters, ulama karam, I greet you all with the universal greeting of peace, love and mercy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The poem I'm going to recite is the words that every speaker reiterated before me, and that is freedom. It's entitled Freedom. And when I'm finished with the poem, I want everybody to give me the audience reaction, because when I look down, you guys look quite scary. So when I'm finished, don't clap hands for me. Say Allahu Akbar instead, inshallah. All great things in life are simple: justice, honor, hope, and freedom. It is the breath of life. Never dear at any price. Tell me, what would a man pay for not living? Revolution is the apple whose seed is oppression, not waiting to fall, it needs to be taken. When dictatorship is a fact, it becomes an obligation. One generation away from extinction. Freedom. It must be fought for, protected, and given. It must be demanded by those that are oppressed and dictators driven. Those who deny freedom and others do not deserve it for themselves. Who makes peaceful revolution impossible and give no choice. Instead, we have to pass through the valley of the center of death and walk down freedom's road. The best to progress, and those living in Palestine have no fear of death, to trust in an unknown future to He who knows best. Because once you choose hope, anything is possible. And mine lies in Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, inevitable. The freedom of Palestine is soon to be born. When houses are burned down and families are torn, they claim the media couldn't capture the pictures, but the pictures were shown. To take one look and judge on your own, isn't the night always darkness before dawn? And that's why little Ahmed asked me, How can we stay positive in a world full of hate when the blood of a Muslim is worth much less than the food on your plate? It's like standing on a telephone and expecting not to shake. It's like slamming your pussy to a glass door and expecting your hair not to break. So all the Muslims are win. Because he says, for me, it's okay. But don't just expect me to smile a day while my Burmese brothers and sisters are being thrown to the waves and as both fell over Palestine, Yemen, and Syria. Don't expect me to smile a day. You can call me young and stupid, but the world made me this way. And that's when I said, stop and look into the mirror. And that's where you'll find the change, because it's been staring you and I in the eye every single day. And the problem with the Ummah is not what the enemies, is what we've thrown away. It's inspiration we've forgotten, because we left the prophetic way. You see, we follow a prophet who was an orphan, a shepherd boy, and he was poor, but that never stopped him from standing up for what he was for. The difference between right and wrong, the bringer of good news, was is and always will be to the believer a guiding news. So don't be confused. He was human just like you, so are the Muslims awake. To the mosque in our dear country, Palestine, to the mosque that is pumping in our hearts, to the mosque that belongs to all Muslims, not just Palestinians alone, to the mosque that is slowly falling apart. Where these Zionists have stepped in with the dirty hands and shoes, they have touched our holy walls. The Zionists, including the Jews, visiting Italians underneath our mosque, hoping that the Al-Aqsa mosque will collapse one day, hoping to build their own Jewish temple as a replacement, that they don't even want to let the Muslims enter their own mosque to pray. Oh, well, Al-Aqsa, to you, our hearts will continue to cry and bleed. How can we keep quiet? How can we turn a blind eye to me when one of the most important assets of our Ummah has been degraded? In 1969, she was been burned down to the ground. She was been used as a stable, a palace, a dumping ground, and also an execution chamber. A message from me to the oppressors. Your acknowledgement means nothing to us. Your maps means nothing to us. Your embassy is as legitimized as the occupation that seeks to legitimize. Our land is our land. Our dignity is our dignity. Our determination is our determination. Our boycott is our boycott. Our Aqsa is our Aqsa. Our Palestine is our Palestine. And we never had any hope from the tyrants, dictators, or students, because we bow our heads only to Allah subhanahu, and we will continue to insist in the freedom of Palestine, even if the entire world seems to be perishing. Our liberty lies in the hands of the only one on the throne. Hearts are free, honorable Sheikh have the courage to lead us on. They may take away our lives, but they will never ever take away our freedom. Takbir! 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 Super.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, young boys out there, and my apologies, sometimes I may say things out of text, forgive me. Not sure whether it's young girls also. Yes, I spot the young girl. Yes, a deep breath. Should I go on and talk about this young man, these two artists, Zahir and Abdurrahman Abdul? Then my tears are gonna come. As we listen to the powerful facts that these two gentlemen were singing in poetry, we should stand up. You must enjoy this festival. Make your point in this 7A-SIDE festival. Promote it, talk about it, go on the chat, send it out there. This is beautiful what we can do. We are so proud to have Sheikh Rebuilds here. Soccer may be seen, it may seem like we play every week. This is not normal. Like Mr. Bennett Bailey was fighting. All his life he was fighting. We can play no normal sport in an abnormal society. And we have people like Sheikh Rebuilds here, we have many of them, Kaizo Tamai, the president of Reigate here, we have so many names, Ibakaska. You know what I'm trying to say. This is the tournament. Make the most of it. Send your champions out there. Let the families come in their thousands. we'd like to see these young artists there as well at the weekend of the tournament. Having mentioned Iqbal Custom, man who studied with me, the administration, sports administration, which was completed by the University of Victoria. Still love to see him in the sporting field here with us, and Faisal Samai, as well as Ibrahim Mustafa, a legend of his own as a midfield player and chairman by Triple S. Let's welcome those three gentlemen to stage. Start with the Lords. Thank you, Mr. Faisal Samai, Iqbal Custom, and Ibrahim Mustafa. Sorry, it was this that poetry and that beautiful song of Zahir was touching. Please send us the CD if we can listen to it again. I have a bunch of keys here. If it's not yours, I will gladly go outside and press the button and take the prize. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Faisal Samai.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Good evening. Protocol followed. I'm the tournament director for the festival. I just want 2 minutes of your time to explain the tournament. There is a protocol that we're going to follow on the 4th and the 5th of December. But before we go there, I'm glad Mr. Brady is here. Mr. Brady is actually an official meeting of Ragged, and I'm actually the Ragged president. We, at our LFA, we have the cups. We call it the Cups Festival. Now the man is sitting here in front of me, he's the main man. He's the president of the Cups. He was the president of Ragged, and it took us some time. And Mr. Bailey also, he actually bullied us, I call it bully, that we need to do this. And the reason why we did it is because of the youngsters out there. He called it the Cups. I don't know, the Cups is like a lion, it's a lion, it's a small lion. Here's the reason why we called it the Cups tournament. To bring all colors, the rainbow nation together, to bring the youngster. Our Cups is big, guys. Seriously, we've got about 2,000 to 2,500 players that's playing in our Cups. And the idea, the reason why we call it a festival is because of our youth. We've got all these youth out there. Guys, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to go in there, Mr. Bailey, I'm not going to go in there, otherwise we're going to chat here for hours. But all I'm saying is, the reason why Ragged is doing the Cups is to mix so that we can have friends, the youngsters must mix, all colors, African, Indian, whatever they may work for. But at the end of the day, all the youngsters, they go home with a smile on their face because there's no winners. There is no winners. In this tournament, there is no winners. That's why we also call it the festival. Reason, each youngster is going to go home with the medal by the end of the day. That's enough said about that story. There's just the ground rules for the tournament from Saturday to Sunday. Number one, the tournament, the fixtures department will liaise with you on WhatsApp. They will send you the rules, the score sheets, and everything you need for the tournament. Just a little bit of ground rules to the coaches and the managers. You're going to get your score sheet at home. You do your homework. You need to do your homework. You need to take your youngster's temperature. When you come to the gate, each youngster's name on the score sheet with his temperature, mask, and you can sanitize him there by the clubhouse. No entry per individual player. You need to come there with your team, coach and manager, together with your team, your 10 players, with your score sheet. Protocols will be followed at the gate. You will be sanitized. You must wear your mask. Your temperature will be taken again and again. And the facility inside will be sanitized free. So guys, when you get there, if you're not gonna have that in place, no entry. No entry. If you're not gonna have that in place, no entry. When you enter the gate, there's gonna be 5 fields. 4 is gonna be on your left hand side, and the 1 is gonna be on your as you enter. You will get a diagram of the setup of the field. To the coaches and the supporters, the managers, the parents, guys, when we have some silence here in the back, please. This is important. The tournament or the festival is not about you. It's not about you. Don't spoil the youngsters' weekend. Because they're coming out there to enjoy themselves and meet new friends. That's the reality of the tournament. Supporters, we're not by the means to put fencing around all the things. We're not by the means. But no supporters will be allowed, mommies, daddies, opas, no matter who you are. The only people that will be allowed in the playing facility is the 10 players with the manager and coach. As a third adult farmers, no entry, guys. No entry. Parents are going to around the field, then that's your position. Because if you stand there, you can see your youngster playing. You don't have to go inside the facility. That's for the playing side and for the parents. Parents, don't put your youngsters under pressure, please, because they're coming there to enjoy themselves. I'm repeating that part because this is important. That's why we don't call it a tournament, we call it a festival. So, no further ado, I'll hand you over to Ima and people to the draw. Thank you.
We say thank you to Mr. Final Kamal. Just an announcement. The driver of the black BMW, our artist Zahir would just like to move and would like to go home and thank you.
Okay, shukran. Okay, latest format of the festival. We've got under 8, under 10, and under 12s, the under 8 and under 10s, 16 teams, and there'll be 4 teams in a group. So the top 2 in the group goes to the cup section, and the 3rd and 4th goes to the plate section, and then that they will have quarterfinals, semi-finals. Under 12, we've increased it to 20 teams, because obviously of demand, and we're going to turn everyone away. So they'll have 5 teams in the group. Unfortunately, the team that came 5th in their group, they'll drop out of the competition, and the top 2, the 3rd and 4th goes to the cup and the plate section. Okay? So now we'll go on to the draw. We'll start with Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum. We start with an 8 and 4, Shabib Salim. Shabib Masal. Is your sister? Crystal Palace.
Okay, Crystal Palace 2. They've got 2 teams here, so they'll go into Group A. So what we'll do is the next team will go B, C, D, work from left to right. And then FC Crystal Palace has 2 teams. If they end up in the same group, we'll skip them to the next group, that we don't have the same team, same club playing in the same group.
Start with the Blackpool. As you all know, start with Blackpool and 8, but we've got 1 team. Write us down. Nitros. East End. Triple S.